Welcome back to the channel, folks, and glad you're here. It's a crappy, balmy, like, what, 5 degrees out. This morning it was below zero. I got 8 inches of snow out there, and we're inside again. So anyway, today we're going to continue with our series of customizing 1/64 John Deere toys, or any toy, actually. Today we're using the John Deere drill. And I worked for a farmer most of my teen life. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, just because something wasn't never made in a factory doesn't mean that it didn't exist. The old farmers, they had a saying, necessity is the mother of all inventions. That means that they bought something. Say they bought this drill and it didn't quite do the job, or they needed a wider one and they couldn't afford a new wider one, so they went and bought 2 of these, stuck them together, and away you went. Same way with anything else, discs, all kinds of stuff. They changed them to fit their needs, and that's the way it worked. So anyway, what we're going to do today is we're going to take one of these, or 2 of these, put them together, put a new hitch on them, and make it a double drill like. So that's what we're going to do. You're going to need 1/8 inch brass, which you can pick up at most hardware stores. Our local Ace Hardware has K&S brass section of that. Some super glue. I use an accelerator. You don't have to have an accelerator, but I do it because I don't have any patience. I have none. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. And without further ado, I guess we'll get started. Okay, in order to get started, we take our handy dandy Dremel, and we're going to cut these hitches off. Well, first of all, let's take the plastic off, because we're going to use that later. Set them off to the side. And then, well, we also need to take the decals off, so I won't bore you with that, because, yeah, you've seen me take decals off before, because we're going to do something a little different that way. All right, I'll bring you back. Okay, we're back. I got them glue gone. I also put took a piece of pinstriping, 3M pinstriping you get at the parts store, at the auto parts store. They got it there. Anyway, just to kind of offset it, make it look different. And then we take the Dremel and we have to knock the paint off of the insides, or we're going to attach them. Okay, so let's just knock the paint off. Loud noises. Now, it doesn't take much to knock that paint off. Get that shined up. Doesn't care whether it's smooth or not. The rougher it is, the better the glue will stick. Now, we got to take these pieces of hitch off, and we'll do that while they're apart yet. Okay. It doesn't take much. Well, my wheel is full of smudge from cutting this stuff. It tends to fill that. I use a carbon fiber blade, like not the sawdust press type one. It's actually it's got a weave anyway. They don't fly apart like the other ones do, but they tend to fill up with smudge from the from this stuff. Anyway, I just clean up the edges a little bit. It's just not so sharp there. You want to cut that off as flat as you can get it. All right, now, next thing to do is we save these. We save these because we're going to need one of them. All right, so let's put them up there. All right, now we can put these together. All we do here is take some super glue and run it across there like that. Also put a smudge here and a big smudge there. Line them up and put them together like that and hold them for a little bit. The excess, and then take them, spray it with that, and that sets that glue. That accelerator dries clear, and yeah, okay. Hold that right on there. All right, now that comes where you get a little bit of what I want to say, fabrication. Oops, sorry about that. What did I do with my... Oh, there it is. That's from my super glue. Okay, next we take our 1/8 inch brass square tubing, and we got to take and cut a slant on one end. And I'll show you what I'm going to do. Like I said, this is kind of like the fabrication part of it, and it doesn't take a whole lot, but I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to change my wheel. Hang on a minute. All right, see what I'm talking about? This is a fibered one, and see how it's all full. Yeah, it don't cut worth a darn. And then I put one of these on. These are just a standard like silicone grit pressed real hard together. So that's what we're going to use. Hopefully it don't fly apart too bad. Alrighty, here we go. Loud noises. Just need to cut a slot, or a wedge in there, like. I'll make sure you get all that crap out of there. Okay, now, next thing we do is we grab our handy dandy Sharpie. We put this up here to where, see how that follows that. I don't know whether you can see that or not, but how that angle follows the angle of that support beam there, or whatever you want to call it. So we go over here, we set that up to that, and measure across, and boom, we set another one here. And look at that, and we take on the inside of it. Okay. And we'll saw it. Okay. And do the same for that. Kind of clean it up a little bit. Okay. Now we take these, and I usually try to set something up behind it. I think what we'll do is we'll go this way. Yeah, I guess it may. Just to show you what I'm doing here. Try to raise this up to where it's pretty much level. Okay? Because we're gonna super glue this to this. Right like that. Just like that. So, grab our handy dandy super glue. Put a blob there and a blob there. And then with the patience of Job, you set that on there. Like that. Okay. I like to take a toothpick. Just kind of straighten it up a little bit. See, now it's got to go down some. There we go. Yeah. And I take and fill the ends with glue. Riveting, isn't it, folks? Sometimes it's just easy to take your dang finger and do it. All right. Anyway. Spritzer with that and let it set. Alrighty. Okay, we're back. Nice and stuck on there. No problems whatsoever with that. Next, we're going to take the end we cut off, and we're going to have to go out here and we're going to make a tongue for this. Now remember, these go on the end, so you don't want to stick it out too far. So we'll just kind of, we'll cut it about right here. Yeah, that should do it. So we'll cut that off. Okay, we got that cut off. Sure that end's open. Okay, then we've got to cut this. We're going to take this. Hope you can see what I'm doing here. And we're going to make a mark right there. What we're going to do is we're going to cut this down here and across here like this, just to let this leaves a flat top piece that when we glue that piece will glue down to here. Okay? Okay, that's what we're going to do. So we'll get that cut. I'm kind of doing this off camera. It's easier to do it on the side. Yeah, I want to say it's easier to stupid things. Yeah. Well, come on. Really? Ow. Well, if I can get these to work, we'll be okay. Look at that. Ugh. Dumb things anyway. Just need to be able to hold that so I can cut it. There we go. All right. Now, we want to leave the top. So, okay. Not bad. Oh, them things are junk. Get rid of them. Alright, see now that sits there. I got it just a tad long, but that's okay. Because what we want to do now is bend this down just a tad so that it flows down for our hitch. Okay. Now, we want to notch this here. Want to notch this. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to notch that. About halfway so that we leave some meat on that. And that'll go around this. Then we can glue all that together. Okay? Okay. So let's notch that out. Oh, I better put that on the bottom. Well, this is trial and error. Cut and fit. That's how it works. Now you take a look at it, and I know it's kind of hard to see. You got to make that level in there. Okay, it's level on both sides. Okay. We set that up, see how it fits. It doesn't fit too bad. It's a tad bit too much on the bend. Yeah. Alright, now, next, as we get this little critter, and we're going to do this, we're going to put this inside of that. So we got to grind this down a little bit. So grab a different pair of these. And we want to just grind this down far enough that we can get it inside of that. All right? All right. Well, evidently my battery must be dead. It's broken out. Yep. Okay. All right. Just like that. Ooh, yeah. Oh, crap. Wouldn't you not? That flew right out of there. There it is. Good Lord. Okay, we got to clean our bench off here. Okay, we are back in business. First thing we do is we want to glue this into there. That gives us a handle. Make sure you put the hook right. Okay, now I'm not going to mix that with goober yet because I need to put some here. And then fill this cavity. With glue. And on this end, make sure we get it straight. That don't look too darn bad right there. And grab us another toothpick so that we can go along with this and just clean up a little bit of it. I just smooth it out too. The underside of it here. We'll make sure that's got plenty of glue in there. Alright, I think it's ready for smooching. Cool. Alright. Not out of that. I'm going to have to get me some more. Pretty good stuff. There. Now all we gotta do is paint it. Okay, it hadn't been too long. We are ready to paint. Now, like I said, you don't. I do enough of the customization that it pays me to buy this. I get this at the John Deere store, and it's really nice. I gotta get it opened up. It's real heavy duty paint. See? And shake it up real good. Anyway, that's what we're gonna paint this with, and it really works nice. It's like model paint. It flows out evenly, and it's the same color. I mean, it's identical. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to paint this up, and we'll be finished. You ain't done till all of it's covered. You ain't seeing shit with that in front of you, are I? God, jeez, I tell you. Never claimed to be a videographer, that's for darn sure. Okay, there it is. All painted up. This stuff, it ain't cheap. It's about the same price as what a can of spray paint is. But I've had this for, golly, I don't know how many years I've had this. It also comes in a yellow. This is one of the first ones here. I've had this in a long time. And because they changed the tops then. But the yellow's the same. Yeah, this one hadn't been shaken in a long time. It may not be any good. But anyway, yeah, get these at the old Deere store. And I don't know, they're like 10, 15 bucks, something like that. But it goes a long way. And it really makes, I don't know whether you can actually tell, but it's got a nice shine. It flows out. It doesn't leave brush strokes. Yeah, you can really patch up a lot of even if you've got a deer that's sitting on the shelf that got bumped, or whatever, the cat ran up there and knocked off the shelf, got a big chip out of it. Go get some of this. Man, that just touch, and it'll flow right out through there, and it'll touch that up and be perfect. Anyway, we just let that sit and dry, and that's pretty much it. You can take, if you want to take deer decals and put John Deere on there or whatever. I don't. I just leave it like that. It's got the logo on the side, so pretty much green and yellow, so everybody knows what it is. So, all right, that's it. Thanks for being here. Hope you didn't get too bored with it. And till next time, yeah, we'll see you next time, I guess. Okay. All right. Later, Tater. Okay, I forgot one thing here. I forgot these do-jibbers. Make sure you get this turned around, because they sit like this. All we have to do is we got to cut these two insides off. See? Then that just sits in there. All right? All right, I hope I cleared that up. Anyway, that's what we got to do. I'm a handy dandy cutting tools here. Snip that off. The inside one. And that just sits there like that. There. Now it's done. Pretty cool, huh? All right. That's it. That's the end of it now. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one. Well, friends, as always, thanks for watching. Hope it wasn't too boring. If you have made it this far, I ask that you kindly subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video. It helps to grow the channel. Thanks again, and until next time, later, Tater.